Hi guys, Samantha here from Thread Collective. Welcome to part 3 of our weave along. Today we're just going to be getting our loom partially set up for weaving. So in today's little video, I'm just going to quickly be taking some parts off my loom and we're going to commence threading, and I will show you how to read the draft as well. So first things first, I'm going to get some bits out of the way. So on many looms, you can remove the breast beam. Some you can't. So on this one, I simply have to lift it, and I like to pop mine on the ground out of the way, and that just helps keep everything nice and straight so I can avoid the risk of my timber warping. I can also take out the beater on mine. Some of you might have a locking mechanism to get your beater out of the way while you're working on threading. Just do whatever works for you, whatever your manual says, or reach out if you've got a question on the best option for your loom. Send me the model number and model name, number if it has one, and maybe even a picture. All right, so let's lift this one out. Just be careful not to knock too much there. Get this one out of the way. This one I will lean upright. Out of the way. Okay, sorry, jumping off screen there. Okay. Oops, have to control on this bit. Okay, now that I've got some bits out of the way, let's talk heddles. So on my loom, I know that I'm going to have more than enough heddles on each of the 4 shafts that I'll be using, but you might not. So if you fall into the camp of needing to put the amount of heddles on each time, or for aesthetic purposes, you like to have the exact number, this is a good time to refer to the pattern. So for the bandana, if I were to make sure I had the correct amount of heddles on, I would count out for, if I pull up the right bit in here, 72 heddles on shaft 1, that would be 36 on each half. Some looms, it can be difficult to separate the halves or slide your heddles along if they've got like a little bit at the halfway point. That can make that next to impossible. So yeah, like I said, 72, so 36 each side of the center point. On the second shaft, we need 55 heddles, 28 on the left, 27 on the right. Shaft 3, 54 with 27 and 27, and shaft 4, 72 with 36 on each half. So just remove or add as needed. For me, all I'm going to do is make sure that I have a couple of threads left up at my far right. That just helps me balance my shafts nicely. Don't need that many. Just a few more up there. The reason I don't want too many loose ones at this end is because they can bunch up and cause other shafts to lift unintentionally in some looms. So slide shaft 1 along. Shaft 2, we'll make sure we've got a good handful left at that end as well. And sliding, you'll notice I put all the heddles I need to thread to my left. And so with threading this way, we're warping back to front. That just means we've started our warp at the back of the loom and we're going to thread it through to the front and tie it on that way. Some people like to do like a front to back method. And if that's what you're familiar with, do that. You don't have to do, like if you've got a routine already, you don't have to copy this, that's fine. Shaft 3, and then we have shaft 4 that we'll be using as well. Now you'll notice I have a lot more shafts on here than the pattern calls for, and that's fine. All I need to do is make sure I have my heddles out of the way. So I'm going to push approximately half of each bundle to each side, just so they're out of the way of my threading. And will be relatively balanced while they're sitting out of the way for me. Sitting very low down at the moment. I've got a chair that I like to use for threading, and we'll talk about that in a moment too. So just go have a quick look. Ta-da. Using the first 4 shafts, so I want to make sure I don't have anything sitting too close to those heddles because I don't want to accidentally grab from a different shaft while I'm threading. Okay, so now we're about ready to thread, almost. I just wanted to show you how to read your pattern, because this might be the first time you have read a pattern more than plain weave, which would, usually just be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So what I like to do is visualize this row at the top. So this whole section at the top, that's your threading. And I visualize each one as my shaft bar, with the one down the bottom being the shaft bar that's closest to me. So if you've got your pattern in front of you, on the far left, so when I'm looking at my loom, so I've got shaft 1, 2, 3, 4, and that corresponds with 1, 2, 3, 4 on my top. And I'm reading it as if I'm looking at my loom, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So when you're reading your pattern, you're bringing each thread over from your left to the right. So on this, that means you're then reading from right to left, because these will become your first threads. And when you're looking at the loom, you want it to look like the pattern that is given to you on the paper. So in this instance, if you've pulled it up, if you've got the bandana one, I may need to change this to the scarf, but I'm pretty sure it starts the same. You should have 2, so we would put a thread on shaft 2, and then 1. So you're reading from right to left with the shaft closest to you as shaft number 1, and then shaft 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 2, 1, and then we have 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we have 4, 3, 4. I really hope that makes sense, and hopefully as we go, it will make even more sense. Now let's also talk about this app very briefly. I'm just seeing if I can fiddle with some settings. Just give me one moment. So on the topic of weaving software, this is what I primarily use. I do also have the demo version of Fiberworks, but this is iWeave It. I have an Apple ecosystem, so I have an iPad, an iPhone, iMac. I will look up as to whether it's available for Android as well. But for the iPad and the phone app, it's quite affordable as far as apps go, and you only pay for the bits once. I've had this for years now. So I bought the basic app, but I also did, what else did I buy? I bought treadle and threading tracking. So what that means is when I'm threading, it's just letting me know I'm starting a new one. It will highlight 4 threads for me, and I can press start tracking, and I can do those 4 threads, and then I just need to tap, and it will move on to the next 4 threads, and tap and move on to the next 4. I can also go backwards as needed, and it will say where I'm up to with my threading. If you don't want to invest in an app, that's completely fine. You do not need one. Paper and pen is more than adequate, but I would tick off as I go, or have like a little post-it note system to break down the pattern for you to make this part a bit easier. So the other thing with this app, you can also do look at all your calculations. So at the moment, I know my width on the loom will be 25.3 inches after we've slayed it. And then when it's finished with the 12% shrinkage I'm estimating, it could be more, it could be less, that's why we sample. It's estimating I'll finish at about 22.3 inches wide. And I've also gone through, I've done length on the loom. It will also break down your heddle count for you, all sorts of things. So this isn't something that I or Thread Collective sell, it's just a really nice little app that I thought you guys might like to know about it. Alternatively, there's things, like I said, like Fiberworks, you can get a free demo or you can pay for your demo. You can also track your treadling with this. And the other nifty thing is if you have a table loom, you can change it to use a lift plan. And that means this column here where normally the treadles would be for a floor loom weaver, it will give you the lift plan, so the tabs that you need to press on your table loom to lift the right shafts. So yeah, that's just a really handy little thing, and yeah, have an explore, see what apps work for you. There are a couple of other programs out there that have completely escaped my mind at the moment. But as I mentioned, this is the one I use the most. I believe the iPad one you can do up to 16 shafts on it, but the phone version is a bit more limited. It might be like 8 or 12 shafts from memory. All right, let's get started with our threading. All right, so for this next part, I'm just going back, you probably can't see, but I've got my, my warp is on my leaf sticks and I've got my cross there. So I am just going to go ahead and snip the ties on my cross. And at this point, don't know if you remember that I also made a counting cross at both ends, so I'm going to take that off now as well. And I'm just doing that on the first chain. I only ever do one chain at a time, just in case we have an oops. And so starting with the chain that is my far right. And hopefully I can get a couple of different angles for you guys for the threading so it's really clear as to what I'm doing. Okay, so those of you that watched the last episode will know that I have also had to give this warp a bit of extra support at the back because the bandana is quite a short warp. I'm just gently tugging this warp through these leaf sticks a bit more so I've got plenty of room. Wool, again, being quite sticky, so just being gentle with that. You can strum the threads if needed, just like a guitar, and that will help separate without you altering any tension. Okay, so I've pulled that through, and what I'm going to do now is just snip because I can't thread while they're all joined like this. So I'm going to go just like so. And we're going to get started. So I'll pull up my app because it has my pattern. There we go. Pull up my threading. And on this app, I can even see what colours I should be working with. So I've got my peacock first. I'm going to go ahead and put this into threading tracking mode for me. So I'm just going to back it up from before. And go forward, start tracking. And so what I like to do, helps if I grab a little hook. You can do this with your fingers, which is a lot easier to do with Texsolve than with metal, or you can use a little hook-like device like this one to help draw your threads through. So I have my sticks hung up to make it relatively simple to see. Sorry, just pause for a second. So first of all, make sure the chair or bench you choose to use gets you at a good height to thread. So you want to be able to reach your threads that you need to thread and your heddles without straining any part of your body. If you are sitting on your weaving bench, you are probably too high unless your weaving bench adjusts. So if you find you're really leaning to have to reach, you need to reassess what you're using. So I'm currently just on a low plastic chair. I don't even know how to describe it. It's got 4 legs, so I can easily pop 2 legs over one of the bottom beams on my loom. Anyway, so make sure you're comfortable first because ergonomically you want to be good. So let's see if I can, sorry guys, just see if I can move that around a bit so you can see. Back these up a bit. Make sure I don't drop my iPad on the ground. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. No, that's the wrong way. No, sorry, just give me 1 minute. I will pause this and I will get a better view for you of what I am looking at. Okay, we have a much better view of what I'm looking at now, guys. So you can see I have my leaf sticks back here and they're holding my cross for me so I can see which threads come next. And you can see my threads nice and easily here. So as I mentioned before, when you are looking at your pattern, think of the top section or your threads that need to be threaded as kind of like a diagram of your shafts with, when you put it down lower, let's see if I can get it to focus on there for you. I do apologize, I can't really make this bigger, but if you've got the pattern in front of you, it will hopefully make sense. The row at the bottom is shaft 1, which corresponds with how I'm looking at it, with shaft 4 being sort of, 1, 2, 3, 4, quite obviously there. So we've got shaft 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we, again, just to reiterate, we are reading from right to left and not from left to right. And again, if you think of this as how you are looking at the pattern on here, it sort of makes a bit more sense, I think. Okay, so let's get started. I've got my first 4 threads will be 2, 1, 4, 3. So that means I need one on shaft 2, shaft 4, 2, 1, 4, 3. I like to grab my 4 threads at a time to correspond with what I'm looking at when I'm marking off in my app. There we go, so I have 4 threads, 2 and 1 are first. I'm working with my peacock threads. So just get them a little bit tighter so it's a little bit less messy. 2. And then I take my next thread, and when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the cross to make sure I'm not getting tangled up. And I've put my little hook down somewhere. Should I really have a look for that? Just pop that there. See if I popped it up on top. I have, just so I can show you guys using one of these. And then my next 2 threads are 4. So that's shaft 4, and then the next thread along is shaft 3. And so another trick you can do to make sure that you aren't losing track of which shaft you are working on is to simply write them on here with the lead pencil if you have wooden bars. If you have metal shaft bars, you can get a piece of painter's tape and you can write the numbers on there. I just haven't gotten around to doing it on this loom yet, but it is something that I will actually be doing on my own loom. So tapping this to make sure I keep my place, and it's the same threading I just did. So 2, 1, 3, 4, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully this is focusing well for you guys. Alright, so we're going into 2, and I'm just sliding them along as I go. 1, 4, 3. And then on to the next 4 threads, which are 4, 1, 2, 3. So I still need 1 from each of the shafts that I'm using. 2, 3, 4. Now, the other thing in this one is we're nearly up to 10 threads, and if you remember correctly, each inch has 10 threads. So what I will do is pause after the first 2 of these, so 4 and 1. And then 1. And I will actually gather these all up, so let's see. Like so. And I'll tie a knot. So this serves 2 purposes. 1, I know this is an inch section when it comes to slaying and then tying on the reed. And 2, if something happens, a dog, a child, the wind, or a trip, this is now secure. So they're not going to get pulled back through. So it gives me some organisation and it helps keep everything secure. So that's really important. Now that we're on this angle as well, I want to show you something else to really pay attention to when you're threading. So we're up to 2, 3. You'll notice that every single time I thread, I don't cross or go in between these. I always make sure the one that I am threading is the one that needs to be slid across, and I'm not crossing around. So what that means is, so I've still got 2 here that I need to thread from the same section. I'm not going to go behind the one that I need to thread after this one, because then that would twist my threads together. So I hope that makes sense, but just always make sure your thread is on this side of however many heddles you've drawn across, to avoid them getting tangled and twisted with your heddles here, okay? So then we have 2 and 3. Happens to the best of us every now and then, and it just means that we have to go back and we have to take that thread out and make it right. And so, old habits die hard, using my fingers there. All right, so in the next one, I'm going to need, see if you can see that. I'm going to need 2 heddles for shaft 1, 1 for shaft 2, and 1 for shaft 4. So I'll draw those across. 2 for shaft 1, 1 for shaft 2, and 1 for shaft 4. And that threading sequence, if I can say it, that threading sequence is 4, 1, 2, 1, and marker is lining up with the start of my main colour, which is the grey in my case. So some people like to double check every 4 threads, every 10 threads. Some people don't double check at all. I try and double check as I go. So while you're not seeing me actively sitting here going 4, 1, 2, 1, in my head, I know that I don't have any heddles left over. I'm at the right point with my colour sequence, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so I might just do a slightly different angle for you guys to make sure that you're seeing this very clearly, and then I will get on with it. Okay, so on this angle you can quite clearly see my threads being held up by the leaf sticks here. You can really clearly see the cross with the ones that I've already threaded. You can see they're nicely aligned now. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on threading. If you guys have any questions, pop them in the comments. 1, 2, 3, 4. One thing I should probably point out as well, I did point this out when we were spreading the warp. Don't stress if you accidentally grab one of your threads from like a centimetre or 2 over. It really won't make that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. So it should not affect your tension. If you were to say accidentally grab a thread from over here, that should be over here, that will definitely affect your tension. But a short little crossover, that won't hurt, and that's why I don't mind threading sort of a 2 by 2 sequence when I am winding my warp. Sorry, winding that 2 by 2 sequence. All right, so this one is 4, 3, 2, 1. So untangle myself there. Four. 3, 2, I'm just going to check, I may be up to 10 threads here, so I may need to tie off another inch. Sometimes I get a bit carried away and I have to go back through and tie off a few inches all at once. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So just tie off an inch, and let's see if I can show you guys this. So I'm not doing a true knot, it's slip stitch, I think it's called. So I've got my thing and just kind of looping over as if I was going to tie a knot, but instead of pulling my loop all the way, it's just like that little half one, so it's really easy to untie when I need to, because I will need to untie that. So I want to make sure I can do that. All right, next section, I need 2 4s, 1 3 and 1 on 1. 1, 3. And 2 4s. For a pattern sequence, I'm doing 4 3 4 1. All right, I'm going to switch this back around and might do a little bit of a time lapse until I'm pretty well at the end. See you guys on the other side. I may also have to stop and finish this another day, but we'll see how we go for time. Okay guys, so I am stopping at this point today. So what you want to do if you have to walk away from threading is just make sure you've got everything secure. So obviously the ones that I've been counting are nice and secure, but I do have these ones here that don't quite make an inch, so I'm going to tie them off. Now if I had started on my next bout of threads, my next chain, I would also tie a knot here to make sure that they couldn't accidentally get tugged off. But at the moment I've decided to stop before I have to cut that one open, just to keep everything nice and secure. So I will hopefully pop back in tomorrow and finish threading, and then once we're done with threading I will move on to tying up the treadles. Alright, welcome back guys. I am about to resume my threading. So I've pulled up my, I weave it up and found where I'm up to. All I have to do is start tracking, and I am up to the next chain of warp threads. So the first thing I need to do is take off my cross strings that were helping keep those organized. I don't need them anymore. And I also need to take off the counting cross, the counting chain, sorry. So, sorting that out at the moment. And that will make it easier to pull these threads through a little closer to myself. Okay, working on this middle chain, I've taken off my threads that I was using to keep everything secure, nice and neatly arranged on my lace sticks, and I'm just going to continue threading. So my next little section is, so I've just noticed as well, I've had 2 threads haven't actually, for some reason, been caught in the cross like they should have. And so what I'm doing is I'm just checking, I'm just giving it a wiggle, and I'm looking at the back beam, and I can see that there's not too much of a jump from where they should have been. So I'm just going to leave that as is. They'll only be crossing about an inch, and I'm not concerned about that causing any issues, especially on a short warp like this. So I'm going to thread them now. If it was any bigger, I would unthread back to that point, taking care to just keep the cross order for those other ones as I go. And if you have something similar, you might choose to do that. But again, I don't think 1 inch is anything worth stressing over. So 4, 1, 2, 1 is my next section. So I need 2 1s, 1, 2, and 1 from shaft 4. So I'll just do a couple more threads with you guys, and then I'll put it into time lapse. So you don't have to sit and watch me do this for a really long time. But if there's anything that's not clear and you have questions, please ask either in the comments or send me a private message, and I'll do my best to help you out. 1, 2, 1. So it also won't surprise me if I have a threading error in here, just because I don't normally talk while I am threading. So I'm not as concentrated as I normally am, but I'm actually not going back and double checking, because if I do find a threading error, it means I can teach you what do I do in the instance that it slipped through all the way to my weaving space when I start throwing the shuttle. 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'll just do 4 more here, and then I'll pop this into some fast speed. If only I could do this that quickly. 2, 1. Stop tracking for a moment. Double check how many threads I have here. So I've got that little tiny bout that I tied up yesterday when I stopped threading for the day. So I'm just going to untie that as I need to make it part of a complete inch. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You can see when I'm holding a little bit of tension, it gets really easy to kind of see where the threads are without crossing them over too much. So, show you that again. As I'm pulling on an angle, you can really quite clearly see the order in which they fall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can also really clearly see when you've grabbed one from further along than you should. So I'll just show you that. So if I grab one from even one thread over, you can see that it's catching on that one in front of it. So this is really important when we're slaying the reed to help you not cross your threads. But yeah, so really easy to see that we're keeping them in an order there. Okay, let's go fast forward. Okay, so I've been too busy talking and I actually have some grey threads left that I should not have left. So I'm going to go back through and see where my threading mistake is. It's just too big of a mistake to leave it, obviously. So all I'm doing is going back to the start of my tracking and just checking as I go. So you should have 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This might be where we have it. Yep. So just double checking. We should have 2, 1, 4, 3 there. So what I'll do, because it is a section missing, is I'm just going to unthread this and redo this section of threading. And it is much better to deal with this now. Oops, helps if I undo these knots. Then after I start weaving, because I would have to add in some replacement heddles. I would have to make some string heddles or take solve replacement ones, and then I would have to look at my slaying and just do a whole lot of extra work that I don't really want to do. So it's disappointing to have to unthread and do a bit again, but it's, like I said, much better to catch any mistakes as you make them. And I've got my cross preserved very nicely, so it's not a big deal. And if the error was closer to that end, I would have just fixed it in that direction. Alrighty, so I will get this sorted and I will jump back on again when I'm close to the end here. I've gotten back up to this point again, so we'll finish the threading. So keeping in mind that I still also need to add in floating selvages, but I won't do that until I have slayed the reed. Lucky last one too. So I'll secure these off in a moment. Before I do, there are only a couple of main kinds of threading errors you can make. One being the kind that I made where I actually missed a section and I had to go back and thread in that section. Another being simply just getting your threads out of order. So instead of say threading 1, 2, 3, 4, you might thread 4, 3, 2, 1 or 1, 3, 2, 4. And that's something that's often not picked up until you're already at the loom weaving, and it will show up in your pattern. And that's something you can absolutely fix. That's fine. And another error that can be made is not so much an error of order, but on heddles, especially these textile pedals here, you've got to make sure your thread is going through the eye of the heddle. On metal heddles, you're not so likely to miss the eye because they're normally solid in this section, but sometimes weavers will accidentally thread above or below the eye. And in that case, that thread won't be caught properly as the shaft moves up or down, depending on your loom. So just be mindful of that. Remember, almost anything can be fixed afterwards. Obviously bigger threading areas where you're missing sections might mean you have to go back and potentially unslay a decent portion of your warp, but if you pick it up as you go, for example by checking to see why you have threads left, or in some cases why you don't have enough threads there. Sometimes you may have accidentally threaded a section twice. So just being mindful, taking our time. Normally I don't make too many of the kinds of mistakes I did there, but I am recording and talking as I go, and my concentration is not what it normally is. 2, 4, 6, 10. Just cut that section in 2. got 13 threads left. I'm going to treat those last 3 as part of the last inch. And so all of those are secure now. I'm not taking out my leaf sticks yet. I am leaving them on until I have completely slayed and I'm starting to tension my warp. All right, so that concludes threading. On to the next bit.